Welcome to Flixit, where secrets whisper from the darkness. Tonight, we descend into the chilling depths of Girl in the Basement. But before you plunge headlong into the abyss, hit that subscribe button. Only Flixit unlocks the hidden truth. Unravel the chilling tapestry of secrets, one click at a time. Don't miss out. The Basement awaits. Girl in the Basement is the horrific story of Sarah, a vibrant teen girl who was looking forward to her 18th birthday so she could move away from her controlling father Don. The movie begins with Don rushing someone to the hospital. Next, we see Sarah. Cody was a rebellious kid, mostly because she lived fearful of her father, who was an aggressive demon. She attempted to run away from her family in the past, but the local authorities eventually found her. Sarah planned and sneaks out to dance at a bonfire with her motorcycle-riding boyfriend. His name is Christopher, and he also plays the guitar. He sings Sarah's song and tells her that he loves her. It is sweet. When Sarah comes home the next morning, Don is pissed and screams at his daughter. He says as long as she lives in his house, she will follow his rules. Elizabeth or Sarah desperately waited for her 18th birthday to arrive so she could leave her father and live away from his shadows. Don overhears the conversation and preps his bomb shelter in the basement. He plans to lock his daughter inside so she can't leave him. Little did she know that her birthday would become the worst day of her life. It was August 24, 1984, and Sarah was immensely happy when something suddenly shocked her world. While Irene is out shopping, Don asks Sarah to help him move stuff in the basement. Once down, Joseph used ether to make Sarah unconscious and threw her inside the cell. Then he locks her in and soundproofs the room. She is literally trapped in a bomb shelter and has no way out. The bin is full of clothing. We get a day counter. This is day one of many more to come. Sarah is living like a caged animal. The keypad has 3 tries before shutting down the air circulation. Sarah uses pots to piss in and takes every opportunity to scream for help and fight to be freed. Don tells her that she will earn her privileges and is being punished for her behavior. Then he rapes his own daughter. Soon after, Sarah's mother, Irene, filed a missing person report at the local police station. However, the police doubted that she had run away. Just like in the past, their suspicion was cemented when Don handed over a letter. Sarah's letter suggested she had left her house willingly because she was tired of her family. And there isn't much they can do because she is 18. She even warned of leaving the country if anyone looked for her. Don later suggested that she might have joined a cult. Several of these forced written letters arrived at the police station from the hands of Don Cody, who claimed that Sarah sent them from Braunau. Day 7, Sarah is bruised and battered. She thinks of Christopher to get herself through the trauma she is experiencing. Ironically, Christopher shows up to question Dawn about where Sarah is. Dawn lies and says she ran off with another man. Then he goes downstairs, forces Sarah to put on a red dress, gives her a birthday cake, and rapes her again. The next time he comes down, she is ready and attacks him with a makeshift weapon. Day 356, Sarah is pregnant with her father's child, her sister. She delivers her baby with no medical assistance or proper medical hygiene. She is using a nursing book to prepare for the baby. 7 years later, Sarah is raising her daughter and a son. She is also pregnant. They are all locked in the basement together and only have one another. Christopher still is looking for Sarah and shares with Amy the lies he heard from Dawn. Amy admits that her father has been abusive with her mother and thinks that Dawn did something to her sister. Then she confronts Dawn and accuses him of doing something. Irene wants to go to a private investigator, which sets Dawn off. They argue and Dawn drops his basement keys. Amy picks them up and snoops around the basement, only to be caught by an aggressive Dawn. Sarah has her third baby and convinces Dawn to leave the baby on the doorstep with a note from her asking to take care of her newborn baby. Dawn leaves the baby for Irene to find. He finds a smaller note Sarah left asking her mom to call the police because she is trapped in the basement. 14 years. The children, Marie and Michael, are growing up. They have social anxiety from being locked in a basement bunker their whole lives. They do not understand how horrible the situation they are in really is. They notice a leak in the ceiling and start digging their way out with a spoon. Sarah spends all night digging. She is also pregnant again. The hole leads to the front yard, and she flashes a light signaling a neighbor for help. When the neighbor goes to the front door and tells Dawn, he goes downstairs and beats his pregnant daughter, causing her to miscarry. 18 years in captivity. Dawn fills Sarah in about her other son living just above them named Thomas. He uses Thomas to turn Marie and Michael against their mother. They demand to be let out and Sarah can't take it. She freaks out and collapses on the floor, crying. She thinks of her boyfriend Christopher and the love he showed her. Sarah tells her children the truth about Dawn. The kids understandably are overwhelmed. Michael tried to beat up Dawn the next time he comes down. That only makes him angrier. Above ground, Don isn't doing so great either. He constantly fights with his wife, is fired from his job, and his house is in foreclosure. He is tired of taking care of Sarah and the kids and funnels carbon monoxide into the basement air vents with a hose while they sleep. Thomas catches Don in the garage and wonders what his grandfather is doing. Don has a change of heart and doesn't kill them. Marie has breathing problems and has an asthma attack so bad that she needs medical attention. Sarah begs Don to take them to the hospital, and she even calls him dad. So, for the first time in 24 years, Sarah saw the outside world only for a while, as she accompanied her daughter outside the chambers. Later, Dawn rushed Marie to the hospital and claimed to have received a letter from her mother Sarah. The medical staff found Dawn's story unconvincing and alerted the authorities about the events. Eventually, the police start finding Marie's lost mother. They even reopen Sarah's previous case. He rushes them to the ER. It is the same scene we saw at the start of the film. Doctors fight to save Marie. Elizabeth roamed the doctor about Marie's medical history. Sarah asks to go to the bathroom, and Dawn refuses to let her go. She spills water on Dawn's paperwork and makes her way to get help while he gets a new form. Sarah tells the doctor everything. Dawn is arrested and put away for life. Irene is horrified to learn the truth about what happened to her daughter at her husband's hand in her own house. The family all move in together. Motorcycle Christopher shows up and takes Sarah out for a picnic. They talk about their teenage plans for the future, and Christopher apologizes for not trying harder to find Sarah. Then they go for a ride together. Like what you're seeing. Hit that like button and ring the bell for more heart-pounding content. Don't miss out, subscribe and stay on the edge with Flixit.